My name is Pamela Haines from Homes by Pam and Keller Williams Portfolio Realty in Toronto. And today I'm going to be discussing the top 10 best kept secrets when buying your home. And we're going to discuss this right now. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second and it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also the notification button so I can share some great videos like this with you in the future. And I don't want you to miss anything. So today we're going to be discussing the top 10 best kept secrets when you're buying your home. Number 1, make sure that your cash or your money is in liquid form and very accessible. I don't mean liquid form, I just mean that it's accessible and readily available. So in other words, don't move your money around for at least 3 to 4 months before you plan to buy. And if you do, you can really be taking a chance with your credit profile. So make sure you don't move your money around and you keep it liquid or readily available. Lenders want to, number 1, make sure that you're financially responsible. They also want to make sure that they can see complete paper trails of any transactions that you have transacted in the last little while. You want to get the best possible loan terms. You don't want to open any new credit cards right before you purchase, and you certainly don't want to create debt or buy any big ticket items before you're purchasing your home. These are sort of red flags for a financial institution, and it can actually set you back a little bit too much before you purchase a home. Because if you do any of these things, it may make it very difficult for you to secure a loan. Number 2, you need to get pre-approved for your loan. So this is very different from getting pre-qualified. Getting pre-qualified is like a more casual version or a casual estimate. The pre-approval process is where the lender actually looks very thoroughly at your financial information and your employment information and can make an assessment about what you can afford. They are going to tell you how much you can afford and then how much they'll lend you as a result. And it's very, very important because most good agents will insist that this happens before you actually go out to look at any homes at all. Otherwise, you may be wasting your own time and the agent's time. So looking at homes is a very important and critical step, and you might be looking at something that you can't even afford. So you better get pre-approved first before you start shopping around. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. It's in your best interest. Do your research on something called junk fees. These are a series of charges imposed at the closing table or the closing time, and some lenders may actually try and hide these junk fees in the down payment. So really do your research, do your due diligence. Number 3, avoid property line disputes. And the way to do this is to try and get a survey done so that you know what you're buying and what you're getting into, or ask for the survey if it's already done, so you don't have to redo it. The property taxes are generally based on the size of the property, and this will avoid any future disputes. Number 4, don't try to time the market because this results in you obsessing about the best time to buy, and this is very difficult. It's like anticipating or predicting when your dog's gonna bark. It's very impossible to do so. Essentially, the best time to buy is when you're ready and when you can afford to buy and when you find the perfect home. You'll know when you walk in that a particular home is for you. A real estate market tends to be more cyclical. It tends to go up and down, and waiting may result in you just missing out, so don't wait. Number 5, the biggest house on the street isn't always the best. You know that old saying in real estate? Don't buy the biggest house on the block. And there's a reason for this, because the largest house will appeal to a very small segment of the population. So that relates to the whole resale value of a home. Your home will go up relative to the average appreciation. So generally the resale will be worse for the home that costs more per square foot. Number 6, avoid sleeper costs. Well, what is a sleeper cost? It's literally costs that happen when you're sleeping. These are costs that you don't even think about, and they're associated with buying a house. So what do I mean by this? These are costs that you just simply don't know about because they pile up when you're sleeping. So not only mortgage, but you have property taxes, utilities, repairs, and maintenance. So remember, these pile up and collect when you're sleeping. Number 7, you're buying a house, you're not marrying the house. So purchasing with emotions can really result in breaking your heart. So try not to fall in love with a home and, buy with emotions, because it can really break your heart. If you're buying for the wrong reasons, it can really result in a money pit. Emotions are very different from instincts. Instincts are when you recognize a great house for the good value that it is. Emotions equal obsessions, which is about paint color or things you can change, like the kitchen. So be wise. This is a huge investment. Number 8. Stalk the neighborhood. Go there prior to buying and get a lay of the land. It's really important. Past buyers that I've had very upset in the past because they thought they found the perfect home. But to find out really if there's any issues that you might need to contend with, you need to really scale the neighborhood a lot. In the morning, at noon, at night, and commute to and from the neighborhood of interest several times. Make sure that you will be able to handle this commute and this neighborhood day in and day out. It's a huge investment. Check the proximity to important services like the pharmacy, hospitals, grocery stores, and do your research. Research the schools, even if you don't have kids. Maybe you'll have kids in the future, but schools can really affect the value of your home. Number 9, give your home a physical. You wouldn't buy a car without lifting up the hood, would you? I didn't think so. So it's really important to do your research and hire a home inspector, because a home inspector will only set you back $400 to $700, which is really nothing. It's really a drop in the bucket when you consider what they do. An inspector will tell you everything about the home, everything that's of concern with the home, both in the short term and in the long term, anything you can expect to go wrong. And so at least you'll know what you're getting into if the home inspector writes down this list, and you'll know the relative cost to repair these issues. You can't go wrong by getting an inspector, because if you buy a house and it has a huge issue like a foundation issue, that can cost several $1,000s, and you don't want to make that mistake. That is the biggest mistake you could ever make. Hire an inspector. Number 10, the secrets of bidding are based on what you can afford versus what it's worth. So look at it this way, folks. The listed price is the marketing price. It's a starting point. Many buyers want to make the lowest possible first bid, and this really depends on the market. It's really hard to say what your first bid should be, but it's based on comparables, the average cost per square foot, and see if the neighbors plan to build certain things like tennis courts or pools, and or some development is going to take place like a railroad track or a mall, because these can actually detract from your value. Your offer should be unique to separate yourself from all the other competition if there's a lot of competition. So for instance, what I mean by this is an odd number, or putting in an odd number versus a round number, shows that you've put some thought into this and you're a little bit more serious. So I hope you found this information helpful. Please don't forget to leave your comments below, and I'd love for you to contact me. All my contact information is in the description below. And don't forget to grab your free offer. And I hope to see you again. This is Pamela Haines from Homes by Pam, helping you with your real estate matters.